And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, from Boardman, Ohio. It is the Boardman Spartan Invitational right here on your sports network. DJ Yoakley alongside Bob Zanny, Chris Sigler, Quinn Pushkar will join us in a little bit. But, gentlemen, this is the second year that we've been down and around for this particular event. The second year, and I'll tell you what, there's going to be about 15 to 20,000 people on the campus of Boardman High School, and they're all eyes are going to be on cross country today. Bob Zanny, you are our resident expert today for cross country. Take us through what we're about to see here in the next couple minutes as this race begins to start.
Well, thanks for having me here today. My first time here at the Spartan Invitational with YSN as an announcer. So I've been here in the past as a coach, but thank you very much. So it looks like they've gotten their final instructions from the OHSAA officials here. The runners, of course, have gotten their box assignments, their numbers, so they're getting set up into their boxes. The starting official is on his ladder, and you're going to see him raise that red flag. So they're going to get started in their boxes, and the gun is going to go off, and then you're going to see all out start, and you're going to see jockeying for position. They're going to come up this hill, and they're going to try and get the best position on this start to get the lead in this 5K D1 varsity race. So this is Division 1 here at 9 a.m. This is a big race for these guys here. So they're going to really get a good idea where they're going to have to be once they get into districts and regionals trying to get to that state position.
Yeah, you look at what the cameras that we have currently. We've got 4 cameras right now. You can see them all over.
There's the gun.
There's the gun.
And there's the start. You're going to see them. They're probably going to spearhead right to the center, and they're really going to try and get that position to the center. You can see them all trying to get to the center. There they go. And you can see, and there is the lead vehicle. They're going to have to follow that lead vehicle. Here they come up the hill. And that's what they try and do. They try and get that best position as they can. Straight up that hill. And that's a great pack. Boy, I'll tell you what, that's a really good pack there.
There you see the wide shot there. You talk about the pack, Bob. How important is it to just maintain at this point? Just try to get comfortable and kind of settle in.
You know, it's very important because you think that, hey, you know, you got to be first, but, you know, it's a team sport. So what they got to do is your number one guy got to cover that number one guy and all the other teams. But your 2 through 5 have to do their job as well. Your number 2 guy doesn't have to beat the number 1 guy on that next team. Your number 2 guy's got to beat that number 2 guy on the other team. And then your number 3 guy, he's got to cover that number 3 guy. So they all got to know their job, okay? And the number 4 guy and the number 5 guy. And then you got 6 and 7, they're the tiebreakers. And so they've got to make sure that they get right behind that number 5 guy, because if they got to go to a tiebreaker, very important that they're going to be able to get in there for those points, and low score wins, right? So they all got to know their position on what they got to do, and they know they got to see that guy in front of them, and that's the guy they got to pass up.
There you see the 3 camera setup we have right now. We lost Mr. Sigler. We got the finish line covered, as well as the Spartan Stadium aspect of things. And Bob, you're on the corner. We're about 2.5 minutes in to this first race, Division 1. These are the big boys. This is the North Alleghenies. This is you're going to see a lot of those guys who are extremely talented.
Absolutely. You're probably going to
run those hills over there, Bobby.
You're going to see a lot of guys that are going to definitely be in the definitely in the 16s, the low 16s. Some of them are going to be into the 15s in this 5K. You're going to see him. The 1 mile mark is going to be coming up pretty rapidly. And what they're going to work on is they're going to try and get either even or negative splits coming into this 1 mile mark here. And like I said, they're really, really going to work hard to try and get into that groove to really, really try and get ready for postseason. Coming up into districts and to regionals to try and make that push towards state and even to win conferences, because conference meets are going to be coming up here in the next couple weeks as well. For these teams, you're going to see probably in another minute, I would say, or so, maybe 90 seconds to under 20 seconds, you're going to see some leaders coming down here west to east.
You see, we got the finish line covered for you. Brought to you by Merrill Lynch and the National Guard.
And here comes the leaders, and you're going to see they're going to be turning west now as they come down. I'll try and work on this where I got the sun really in the eyes here. So here's the leaders here, and here's the lead vehicle coming down. And you're going to see they're going to be approaching the 1 minute mark. I don't see a clock down there, and you could see how fast they are really moving down this little bit of a hill. And I'll tell you what, people are saying that you want to really make up ground going down the hill, but in cross country, where you want to make your ground is going uphill. You want to beat that guy going up the hill. That's where you really want to make your race. And there's a pack. That's a pretty good pack here in Division I. It's pretty tight. It could be anybody's race here. And they are at the 1 mile mark right there. Leaders at the 1 mile mark. And so now you're looking at probably the 2, 3, 4, 5 runners on the team really, really trying to do their part to get their team scores in there. And boy, in Division I, look at this. You could really see that this is a really good team race here. Not much separation at all.
And we talked to the cross-country coaches for Boardman. They said this is the most challenging course that a lot of these runners will run on the entire season.
It is. It is. When I was the assistant varsity coach at Struthers some years back, this was one of the biggest challenges that the kids would face every year. And then this is where regionals was every year. Districts out at Trumbull County Fairgrounds, and then this was the big, test of being able to get to state.
Now, I also was told that North Allegheny are the only ones really that see this as like a regular course because all the hills they have to run in Pittsburgh.
Pretty tough.
There's our first ever 5-camera shot here on YSN. First ever time here on the network. We've got 5 cameras rolling, all for one event. This is awesome. Groundbreaking stuff right here in Boardman. Big thanks to Donnie Riccatelli, who literally set this entire thing up. It's his vision. And he said, what if we can do it? And I said, we'll try, buddy. We might fail. We might succeed. Whatever we do, we're going to try full speed ahead.
Now you can see him going into what the kids used to call the woods.
The woods. We tried to get a camera in there.
That's pretty tight in there.
This is phenomenal. Fans, if you'd like to do a shout-out, use the comment section. Brought to you by our friends at Baird Brothers. We'll make sure we get it up for you. It's the 2023 Boardman Spartan Invitational, brought to you by Boardman High School and Your Sports Network. Official race time, we are sitting at 7:50 and counting. And, Bob, you said low 16s? We're going to see some racers?
Oh, you're going to see low 16s. I think you're probably going to see some in the 15s here today in Division I. And here they come. There's the lead vehicle. And this is the leaders. Northern Allegheny in there, Hampton in there, St. Ignatius in there. You got a Canfield runner still in the hunt. Amherst, Chardon, Hoover, another Hoover. Hampton, a couple more runners. So again, you want to see those teams. You got some Chardon, Austintown Fitch in there, Twinsburg. And now a real big pack. I'll tell you what, this is a great close pack for Division One. You're going to have an individual winner, but boy, I'll tell you what, I'm really curious to see how the teams really stack up and wash out at the end of this race. Solon's in there, Avon. Wadsworth's in there. Really big field today. And this is the varsity, not even the open.
Bob, you made a statement earlier about how going uphill is where you make up your time. Why is that?
It is because, see, everybody is going to go ahead and they're just going to just open up so big going downhill. Everybody opens up downhill. They lengthen their stride. Their arm swing is going to get big. Everybody opens up. But the ones that are going to be able to just work so hard, you shorten your stride going uphill, the ones that just work so hard and are able to gain ground going uphill and close on that runner and pass up a runner, those are the ones that are really going to close up the race, and those are the ones that get ahead. Those are the ones where you really make up ground. Those are the ones that kind of win the race. A lot of runners don't really make up ground going uphill. That's where you can win a race.
We're at the 1K marker with Chris Sigler. Siggy, what are you seeing out there?
A lot of enthusiasm. I've never seen anything like it. First cross country meet I've been to, and this is impressive. These kids, the way they're striving, and the sea of runners just goes on and on and on. This is unbelievable.
Pretty individual sport, isn't it?
It's amazing.
And the athletes really test themselves, don't they?
Absolutely. And it just, the overall enthusiasm from the coaches coaching them on, and these kids feed off of that, even in this sport.
Absolutely.
Here we have a coach sprinting right here, right in front of the camera alongside. It's
even the last runner. I'll tell you what, you never give up on the kid. Never. Just amazing.
Luckily for me, I'd be running towards the donuts, but I've got the donuts situated at my table this morning.
You know, a little joke here. I was in the home of Jamboree in the Hills, the Super Bowl of country music last night, and I don't think I've seen this many people run to a spot since the running of everybody getting to their spot at Jamboree in the Hills, to be honest with you. This is just crazy.
Have you guys had a chance to take a look around? I mean, there's probably 10, 15,000 people on campus right now.
Absolutely. And did you see how many runners there are? And here they come down that hill along the parking lot again. Second lap. Now what they're going to be doing is they're going to be going through those woods again, I believe, and they're going to then take that cut to the finish line. They're going to be coming to you guys at the finish line.
Pick it up at Donnie's truck. Quinn Pushkar in the back of Donnie's truck. Quinn, what are you seeing?
To be honest with you, a lot of sun because I can't tell what's going on. But as always, you got the shot of the hill. Got going downhill. That's kind of my pick. I like going downhill because it's easier. But it seems like it's kind of spacing out a little bit more now than earlier. I was late to the party as usual.
And now you can see how in this second half here, where they're getting into the last one. Now, see, if you go along Glenwood Avenue down there, you could see how now it's starting to go ahead and open up a little bit, and how now the spacing with the leaders is really starting to open up now as they go into the woods. And there goes the leaders into the woods down there. And now you're going to have a super kick. So the kick is going to start at about the 800-yard mark, 800 yards to go. And those guys that are going to have that kick left at about 800 yards to go, you're going to see a big kick come along. You might not see it in the woods, but that's where it's going to start. And then about 400 yards to 200 yards, you're going to see a super kick at the finish line. Pretty exciting.
Hey, Bob, just for those of us who have no idea what the hell you're talking about, what's a super kick?
Well, they're going to hold off people coming up behind him, and they're just going to want to just that adrenaline kicks in, man. They're just going to kick to the finish line, And
I thought we were
people
talking about Shawn Michaels.
Adrenaline's going to kick in, and they just got to win. They just want to win the race. And they go ahead and they train. They train for 800-yard kicks and 400-yard kicks, and they train for even splits and negative splits. You want to get at least an even split at 1 mile, 2 mile, maybe negative split at another mile, because if you have positive splits, you're going to lose time. You want to get even or negative splits. So you're 1 mile, and then the next mile you might be 10 seconds faster than your first mile was, and that's how you win races. And you have to feel how an 800-yard kick is going to be. You should be coming up to the finish line now, guys, pretty soon.
Wow. This is where it gets intense, gentlemen.
There it is. Is that the first finish?
That was the first finish. We got it. And they are sucking wind.
They are.
This is grueling.
If they don't have anything left, then they ran the race.
There you see the official times there, 16:12 and counting.
So you had people, you had them in the 15s.
There we go. Now you're seeing this is an absolute race to the finish, Bob.
Yep. And you can see how they're trying to hold off that guy, because that one person could make that difference in your team. You holding off that one runner is a difference between you scoring 50 instead of 51, and that 1 point can make a difference in your team, in your placement.
I still think the most challenging part is everybody coming through this finish line, and you just see them drop like flies.
Yep. You might see some of them actually, vomit at the end. They just give it everything they got. It's just brutal.
I hope I don't see that.
Well, my son used to do that every once in a while. Just everything that they had, they just give it, and they just everything they had, they just left it all out on the course.
And the thing I love about this sport is that you've got competitors from different schools, and they are giving each other love.
Oh, they are. And they all know each other, too.
Yeah. Some of these guys are just sprinting like it's a 40-yard dash.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, there's throw up right there.
That's part of the sport.
That's
Part of the sport, guys.
there's everybody's yakking now.
And they're not ashamed. Neither are the
Nope.
coaches, spectators. They all know it. I've seen it many times. The D1 girls starting to make their way towards the starting line. 9:30 is their gun. And what an amazing feat this is for YSN to put on this live stream of this big production. It's just amazing. Want to thank DJ Yoakley for doing this, lending me his truck, by the way.
Enjoy it. I'll need to throw these shoes away. There's yak all over 'em.
Giving me this vantage point in the bed of your truck over here. It's a great view of the starting line and the east to west portion, and then the west to east up here, coming up this little bit of a hill out of the woods. They've changed the course up over the last 15 years or so, with the construction over here, but it's still a wonderful course to come here and watch. Over 1,000 runners will be here today.
I admire these runners because there's not a chance in the world or enough money in it that you could get me to do this for fun.
Well, I'll tell you what was great, being the coach, was watching them, because we used to have get them in 5th and 6th grade to come and work out with the runners, to get them interested, and then to see them start running as junior highs, 7th and 8th grade, with the 2-mile races, and when they would stay with it, then to see them develop all the way through high school.
What's the selling point for cross country, Bob, when you're trying to recruit cross country runners?
Camaraderie is a big thing. Being part of a sport that is all heart and hustle and effort, and it does require some skill, but it's not a skill that requires. You have skill positions in football, skill positions in basketball, skill positions in baseball. Things like that. All this hand-eye coordination, but there is technique in cross country. Okay, with your leg movements, your heel toe kicks, your arm movements, your arm placements, your training as far as what you have to do going uphill, what you have to do going downhill, what you have to do on flat ground. It takes a lot of practice, but it's so much different because it takes so much internal effort, because it's a team sport, but it's actually you against yourself. And it's really great. And the camaraderie is just amazing. And plus, it's conditioning for other sports as well. They some track people would do it to condition, and which was kind of nice. When my son was in junior high, he could hardly run around the track once when he started. It's amazing. And then when he became a senior, he got through regionals and was a state qualifier and ran in state. So, when you see the kids, develop, it's really nice, to see that. You see kids, that qualify for regionals and go on and, run at some colleges later on in life. It's pretty rewarding.
I'll tell you what, you're teaching a lot of people this morning, Bob, about the great sport of cross country. I know Ty Bartell is slack-jawed watching on YSN about your commentary and trying to break things down, and doing a great job of it, by the way.
Well, awesome. Thank you very much. I learned a lot from him. We worked with the Scrappers this past season. It was awesome working with him over at Eastwood Field. That was great. Yeah, I'd sit there and he'd do all the play-by-play. I had a lot of fun. So learned a lot from him there, and it was good.
First
And I
time ever,
learned a
5
lot.
cameras set up here for YSN for a live production of an event. Again, want to thank Boardman. We want to thank Marco Marinucci, Jeff Hamilton, Donnie Riccatelli, and Coach Seipert for allowing us to get here. Coach Phillips as well for helping us promote the sport, which, for all intents and purposes, does not get a whole lot of love when it comes to obviously streaming and getting some publication out there. So this is what we do, folks. If you're new to YSN, this is exactly what we're trying to do is get eyes and ears on student athletes, coaches, and communities. No matter what the sport is, these kids are out there pushing themselves to the limits, as Bob has so elegantly put it this entire morning. So if you're new to YSN, welcome to the family. We'd love to have you. And naturally, it doesn't cost your school anything. We would love to bring you on board and help your student athletes, your coaches, and your communities. All you got to do is head on over to ysnlive.com to get started.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. That mentorship is a big thing too. So, you guys have mentored us quite a bit here at YSN. So, and we try to continue that and pay it forward. Just like, when I started out as an assistant coach, cross country, I had a mentor, Jeff Malcolmson, the varsity coach there at Struthers, and he mentored me as an assistant coach. And the older runners were mentoring the younger runners, and, the varsity runners mentor the middle school runners. And, it's like that. So you guys are mentoring, people all the time that come on board with YSN, and just do a great job with our viewers too, and tell them about the sport. I think that's just awesome. And nobody else in this area in Northeast Ohio did what you guys do. Nobody.
No, we're very fortunate to do what we do. We do what we love. That's the best part about it. You wake up and it gets you out of bed for sure. You got us out of bed this morning, gentlemen. We're all reporting here about 7 a.m. I know Chris Sigler and I had a late night last night. Most of us, as a matter of fact, had a late night with football.
We did. It was a great football night too, boy. I had a great game over at Jackson, Milton, and McDonald. Came down to the end, 28-21, and that was a heck of a battle.
Blue Jays flying this year, Bob.
They are 5-0 right now, 2-0. They're gonna. I'll tell you what. They got Springfield next week. Ooh, that's going to be a big test for them. Springfield is undefeated as well, and they're also 2-0 in the conference, and that might be the conference game right there. And then Western Reserve, they're 2-0. So I think it's going to come down. And then Lowville, they're 1-0, I think, in the conference. They had one conference game so far, and they're undefeated. So that MVAC conference is pretty tough. So, and we had some friends was watching some football last night. Had a big game with Struthers and South Range last night. That went down to the wire. Defending champ South Range Raiders. Struthers gave them all they could handle last night. I think it was 37-33.
Yeah, they for all intents and purposes, the last second touchdown, Aiden Dominguez gets it.
Yep.
Ends up the hero, South Range. One loss on the season to Green, which was 3 divisions higher than they were.
Right.
So, I mean, we've got some great sports going on. We've got more football today starting at noon. We've got, of course, cross country as we're here today. We've got volleyball and soccer. We've got it all covered here on the network, and you can watch them all absolutely free. Over 100,000 viewers last night on the network watching our football coverage. And so far today, gentlemen, we are over the 2,500 mark of people watching cross country, and I know that's a big win for cross country fans across not only Ohio but the country.
Yep. I'll tell you what, I tell you what, guys, that's the thing for me. When you see other sports and you've been to cover other sports, and now I'm here at a cross country event, you see the differences in the way fans gather and the way they react, and a whole new appreciation for another sport like this. When you go from a football atmosphere last night that we were all at, and you come to this atmosphere, and there's not much difference when you see the people all gathering in one spot, just to support their kids.
It's like all these sports, each sport, it's almost like a cult. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You look at these fans for cross country, and it's unbelievable. It's like, you have your fans for football and all that, and fans for these guys for cross country. Unbelievable. You wouldn't think fans coming for a cross country meet. Oh yeah, look out! Don't get in their way, because they know.
I think it's the best word to describe it.
Yeah. Okay. So they're getting their last instructions down here for the Division I girls race. The girls are getting their final instructions from the OHSAA official down there, and they're getting ready. Get underway here. Boys race is done. I don't know if we have any official results yet over there.
I do not have anything yet.
They do post them. They're going to be posting them, I think, officially up by the building. So there you go. I know the sun is pretty tough right now where it is for me. So I think that camera view is pretty good on the starting line. Looks okay, guys, you think?
Yeah, it looks great. We got this corner, Bob, where you are in Spartan Stadium, the high view.
And looks like the runners are getting to their box assignments. And you're going to see the same thing with the girls here. And they're just going to spearhead, try and get that great position. Teams are going to try and get that middle position. You're going to see that lead vehicle get out there. The official's on his ladder. And getting ready. His starter gun is ready. Flag is up. And there's the gun. And we are off. Division I girls race is underway. And boy, there we go. And you're going to see them just try and just all get in there right in the center coming up this hill. And boy, look at that pack. Oh, you got the lead right off to my right. Oh boy, right there. Try and see
Look
who
at that shot. Look at that shot.
Yeah,
looks like Black Friday.
They're trying to get that. They're getting that position right here. There she is. That's Boardman right there, right in the lead. And what a great pack that is right here. There they go. And now see the fans crossing that starting line course, and they're going to get set up across the line over here because, and again, just in about 2.5 minutes, you're going to see them going east to west again down this little bit of a grade.
It's amazing from my point. When they come around the corner where these buses are lined up, all in there, and just to find their spot, it is impressive.
Now the girls here, you're definitely going to see girls in the 17s, I think. Your top runners definitely be in the 17s. A premier runner, boy, I'd say like a college Division I, maybe even somebody that might want to go pro, might just break 16, but you're definitely your top runners will be into the 17s, I would say. A lot of them are definitely going to be in the 18s, but you're going to see some Division I top runners into the 17s today. Your top boy runners were into the probably the high 15s, I think, today. Low 16s. Give you a little perspective. My son's top time was 16:25. Went to state. Division II school talked to him, wanted him to go run there, and said, I think you're going to fit well with us, and I think you'll fit in well as our number 5 runner. So think about that, how tough it gets when you even get to the college ranks. So that's how tough the competition is, so. And that's the kind of runners that come out of Northeast Ohio.
The leaders are approaching my angle point right now, coming up this hill right beside Spartan Stadium. Teammates from North Allegheny out in the front. One of the boys running with a flag right next door. Ashland. Looks like a scene from College Game Day. So those teammates from North Allegheny really distancing themselves from everybody else right now. How many times can I say this is awesome?
Not enough.
Jeez.
And if you could get your top 5 runners to be in front of everybody else, you don't have to worry about the other team's 2, 3, 4, and 5 runners. I mean, that's a premier team there. Okay, they're going to make the right-hand turn. And now the leaders of the pack are going to be going east to west. There's the lead vehicle. And here they come. Oh, boy, they are really cruising down that hill. They're trying to get a PR, maybe here, personal best. Boy, they're really working hard down that hill. They've got a good lead from the rest of the pack here, approaching that 1 mile mark. Now here's the rest of the pack. I couldn't see who was in the lead. Who was in the lead there?
You had 2 runners from North Allegheny, Bob, and then you had a Uniontown Lake girl a little bit behind them, and then it was a large gap.
Yeah, that's a pretty wide gap from the leaders to the rest of the pack. The leaders now starting to get into the woods there down along Glenwood Avenue. Yep, they're already entering the woods down there. Now they're going to be coming out of the woods here pretty soon. Gap widened up a lot sooner with the D1 girls here than it did for the boys. And boy, that leader way out in front, Northern Allegheny. Big battle for number 2, though. Northern Allegheny still in the lead. Then you got a battle for number 2 between Northern Allegheny and Lake. And then a big gap between 4, 5, and 6. And then another big gap between everybody else. But I think it might be a big a big race for a team title. We got, looks like Strongsville, Stowe, Rivers in there. And now you got the rest of the pack coming up now. Shaker has a good pack right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 of them. Then there's, looks like they got a good thing going on with their team right now. I haven't seen any Northern Allegheny since those first 2. So I'm not sure where the 3, 4, and 5 runners are for Northern Allegheny. So they could get possibly the 1 and 2 runners, but I'm not sure where the rest is as far as 3. So way back here, I see another Northern Allegheny. So looks like their 3, 4, and 5 runners are way back in the pack. So I think that's where the team aspect would come in as well. So we were talking about that earlier.
They're making their way back over here. Northern Allegheny leaders distance herself. The Lake runner has overtaken second right now.
We'll try and get that Northern Allegheny leader coming down that hill again, east to west along the parking lot. And she might even be opening up even more.
I got a shot of her coming up the hill right here, right beside Spartan Stadium right now. You'll get a good look at her lead as she's coming up this hill.
The sun is tough for the spectators right now.
There's
Looking
the Lake runner
east.
behind her and the third place runner from Northern Allegheny. Now the rest of the field's just now coming up past. As you could tell, that gap is pretty sizable between the leaders and what's coming behind them.
Yeah, she's opening up, isn't she?
Yes, he is.
Is there still a pretty good battle for 2 and 3?
Yeah, Lake and the other running from North Allegheny. Lake was in second. North
So
Allegheny was behind her.
So Lake took over second, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I see the lead vehicle going to make the right-hand turn now. Gonna try and battle this sun. Try and get a good shot of that leader. Here she comes from North Allegheny. And there she is. And then, now, boy, Lake has really opened up her lead in second place, because now here's number 3 from Northern Allegheny. And Lake has a sizable lead in the number 2 spot. And really, everybody else is so far behind. Coming up on about probably 40 seconds at least, maybe 50 to 60 seconds behind. I don't know if they're going to be able to make that up at all. And here's the number 4 runner right here. So that is a sizable lead for the number 3 runner.
Seemed like that gap was pretty even between 1, 2, and 3.
It was. And then here comes another little pack. Right there. And your leader from Northern Allegheny is going to be entering the woods here in about 20, 30 seconds. At the finish line, what are we at time here, fellas?
15:54 right now and counting.
Oh,
so your
boy.
17 minutes should be pretty spot on.
She might make it. See what kind of kick she's got at the end. She seems to be cruising pretty good, and she just entered the woods. Maybe might break 17. Looks like the number 2 has just entered the woods from Lake.
How does that kick set in, Bob, when you don't have anybody pushing you right there? How do they find
training.
that?
That's training, adrenaline, and that's got to come from inside. And once you can see the clock, once you make it and you can see the clock, it's like, I got to go. And they just say, I want a PR. I want another PR, or I want to break my last PR, and then when it gets close to getting to like districts and regional, they see all the times of the runners that they have to run against. And they know when the ones that they got to run against, they know what time they have to get to beat those runners to get to the top 15 runners to get the state.
Here we go, boys.
What are we at?
17:22 and counting.
Okay. She's definitely in the 17s, right?
Yeah, she'll nail 17.
That's a heck of a shot right there.
There's your winner. 17:49.
Okay, there you go. That's a good test for her.
And
She's
we
on her
have,
way.
here comes second and third. They'll enter your screen here in a moment, crossing the Merrill Lynch finish line at 18:07. And third place is going to come in at 18:13.
There you go.
We'll stay on the finish line here. We have another racer coming in for fourth place, and then the pack is coming shortly thereafter, gentlemen. Here comes a pair, and they are sprinting at the end here. My goodness. Bob, you talk about leaving it all on the line. That's exactly what we're seeing with that racer right there crossing the finish line just over the 19-minute mark.
And they have to. And here comes some of my favorite runners right behind the chase vehicle. Got one from Lakeside and one from Euclid. The last two runners, and you want to know something? They will not give up on those kids. Never, not one coach will ever give up on those kids. And we would have two. You know, I was the assistant coach, varsity coach, and we'd always put some volunteer coaches around the course. We always had one at the 1 mile mark, 2 mile mark, finish line, and getting split times and everything. And you always had coaches somewhere just cheering the kids on. And finishing the race was the most important thing. Finishing the race, no matter who it was or what their time was, finishing the race. And when the kids finished the race, no matter where you were, when you got your water, you went to the finish line and you greeted your runners to finish the race. That's what it was all about. And they'll finish the race.
It's what they call the money shot, boys. The finish line. I'm sure we'll see some screenshots of this all over the internet with these racers finishing. Finish the race, Bob.
That's what it's about.
You're talking about finishing the race, Bob. Those two runners you described
Yep.
are finishing the race.
Yep.
They just went past my vantage point.
That's right. Exactly. Right. And they'll run another race next week. And they're running a varsity race, aren't they?
Yeah. It's just
Got another one coming down the hill here, east to west along the parking lot. the Division I boys JV race starting to assemble down at the starting line. That's supposed to be a 10 a.m. start time. So they're starting to get ready.
Some of these young ladies that are crossing the finish line they can barely lift their legs up.
Well, yeah, you'll see. And some of the runners, boy, when they just are when they don't have anything left and they just keep going, you'll see their balance will be off, equilibrium will go. Some of them stagger to the finish line. That's what they put into a race. You know, pretty amazing sometimes. I've seen kids stumble and fall, and other runners pick them up and help them across the finish line. So we had some golf this week as well.
The 28th, I believe.
28th.
We will have golf for the first time ever on YSN.
Gonna have some golf. Oh, any tennis this year?
I believe we've had a match or two.
Okay. Golf is pretty interesting. Okay, so looks like we got some preliminary results here. Looks like Hampton in first place for Division One with 144 points. Hoover looks like got second place. Oh, it looks like I lost my page. I was trying to get some results here. I think Hoover was in first place, Hampton in second place. No, excuse me, Hampton in first place. Hoover in second. North Allegheny came in third with 163. Steele in fourth place, 193 points. Chardon in fifth with 210. Rocky River in sixth with 235. New Philadelphia in seventh, 283. St. Ignatius in eighth, 295. And Boardman breaks the top 10. They get in ninth place with 362. Let's see. Canfield, 13. They come in 13th with 402. See if we got any more. Salem, 25th place, 680. And any more locals? Alliance, they came in 39th with 1,133 points. So first place finisher was Hampton, 145 points. So that's the Division I boys results for you.
Everywhere you look, Bob, you see Northeast Ohio YSN teams represented. That's why we are so blessed and fortunate to be able to cover some of the best athletes, coaches, and communities in the entire country for sports.
Absolutely. So congratulations to those teams running today. Got a lot more to go, huh?
I would imagine we'd see a few more of those YSN teams having their names called in the top 10.
Absolutely. Boardman breaks the top 10. But I'll tell you what, I think they're going to make some noise here in their region. You know that this Northeast region is one of the toughest in cross country, just like it is in football and baseball. Yeah, for some reason, it's just one of the toughest regions. For some reason, and look at what happened in football last year. The teams that came out of here in football and in baseball and softball. So the girls are assembling now, going to get their final instructions from the official. You could see them gathering up there. And that's the rules. They have to gather. The official gives them their instructions. I hope that feedback's not coming from my mic. If it is, let me know. Hopefully it's not.
Hey, Bob, describe the scoring, how that is.
It's your finish. So the first finisher, like your points. So if you finish like number 51, that's 51 points.
Gotcha.
If you finish number 100, that's 100 points. So lowest score wins.
Got it.
You know, you finish 1, that's 1 point. You finish 25th, that's 25 points. So like I said, that one you finish ahead of somebody else, well, that's one more point for them, one less for you. So
I got
you want low score. Lowest
what's
score.
what's the average team size are we looking at? Is it vary per school like Division I? Is there a cap?
Well, you can only run 7 runners in a varsity race. You can have as many members on your school team as possible. Like we used to have like 12, 15 runners. Okay. But you can only run 7. Okay. And when you go to a meet, you could have 7 runners and 2 alternates. Okay. But when you enter the race, you can only enter 7. Your top 5 score, and then you have the next 2, which would be tiebreakers. They have official scores as well. So if you tie a team, then your number 6 runner would be a tiebreaker. And if you tie again, your number 7th would be the last tiebreaker. So your top 5 runners are your official score. You'll go to 6 and then possibly 7 to be a tiebreaker. You could only run 7. That's it. Now, if they have JV races, you could run your other runners. And then like we're going to see, this is a Division I JV race. These are runners that are on your team for your school that could not run in the top 7 of the varsity race.
So they're getting their times from practice that week to compete for the next meet?
Yeah, right. See, and it's all about times. You know what I mean? Your varsity runners, what you run in meets pretty much dictates, well, here you go. Here's my top 7 runners. That's who I'm going to run. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's not like I'm just going to pick somebody. It's not like I have favorites or anything. Hey, here's the times. And the times are times. It looks like they're getting ready.
Bob, do you, from a standpoint of when you're looking at times, I mean, obviously races are different. I've heard Coach Seipert talk about flat races versus hilly races.
Yes.
Do you take times considered as to if you have runners that are better on flat surfaces than hills?
You know what? For the most part, they're all going to be within a pretty close range. They might vary maybe 40 seconds, 50 seconds, maybe 60 seconds. Okay, here we go. The starter has his gun up. The flag is up. There's the gun, and they're off. This is a Division I varsity race. And here we go. You're going to see the same thing, and you're going to see pretty good runners here as well, Some of these schools have a lot of runners.
This is JV, correct?
This is the junior varsity Division I boys race. There's the lead runner. There's the lead vehicle. Looks like there's
what a shot that is. There. Look at that shot.
like you said, Black Friday right here, right?
Who's getting the TV?
Right. And we got a pretty good lead. There they go.
As they come around the corner, this is exactly like Black Friday. Everybody trying to fit through the doors at one time to get their electronic.
That's
Who's getting the
right.
Cabbage Patch Kid?
But the other thing is, runners of tomorrow here as well. Who's gonna be the runner of tomorrow? Right? That's how it is.
Wow. This is just. You can tell these coaches were one-time runners too. The way they're sprinting around to
Oh,
find,
absolutely.
to find their runners
Absolutely.
up and down these hills. It's impressive.
You know, my varsity coach ran cross country in high school. You know, I never did. I always ran recreationally myself. And I did some recreational races, things like that on my own. And I did a lot of trail running when I was young. And of course, I had to do a lot of running in the military all the time. You had to, they made you.
I do Dunkin' runs.
That's what I do now.
I mean, I'm a run over to the concession stand.
Right, right.
Quinn, give me a heads up whenever you see them coming your way.
Well, they're just now passing Spartan Stadium right now. The leaders are coming up the hill. Looks like North Allegheny out in front one more time. And that's exactly who's out in front. Boardman runner in second. North Allegheny in third and fourth.
So there you go again, Northern Allegheny. They've got some runners in the front, right? And Northern Allegheny girls had some runners in the front.
And a large pack of Ignatius runners. So they're all sticking together, not too far off the lead.
Siggy, name one NFL player that graduated from North Allegheny. Correct answer, Joey Porter Jr.
Thank you.
Always a treasure trove of information you are, DJ.
Comes with being a Pittsburgh fan, Bob.
I stick to the useless information, Bob. He is worthwhile.
That's a pretty good pack there coming around. And this is where you build those runners, you know, to move up the varsity.
You find the competition more evenly matched here in the JV races, Bob?
They could be, but I think after that 1 mile mark, you're going to start to see separation as well. You know, because some of these kids are the ones that just might not have made that number 7. You know,
Looks like here they come, Bob, for us.
Yep. See how he's out in front?
Oh,
so he's
look at
really
this.
going. So he's really working to make that number 7 spot. He could be a freshman.
Big fan of this shot coming down the hill.
Right. See them?
Look at that. Quinn's got FaceTime going right now.
It's a catch!
I'm going to top your question, DJ. Tell me another network covering this. No one.
Exactly. Nobody.
There's your answer.
Pretty good pack right there. And do you see the difference in height in some of these runners here and then in the varsity? So you could tell that they're a lot of them are a lot younger. And they are really grouped together pretty good. Now the leader is now entering the woods already. So he's out there pretty good. He'll be coming to you guys around that first exit of the woods probably in about a minute and a half. Whoops, sorry about that, folks. Had a little camera faux pas there for a minute.
You're good, Bob. We're on the hill.
Good. You'll see that leader from Northern Allegheny coming up this hill for the first time.
We're on the corner cam now, Bob, so look at that camera work. That's Emmy Award winning camera work by Bob Zanny, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, I learned from my wife. You know,
That's the best way to learn, isn't it?
She does all the camera work for the football games. She does a really nice job. We had military appreciation night at that Jackson Milton game last night, and we started early and showed that whole thing. She did a really nice job. She does the camera work.
That's why we love you guys. The Zannies are our favorites.
You know, she did all the camera work when we were working at Struthers when I was teaching there and had the students involved with 4, 5 cameras, you know, doing all that. She was our camera switcher, working our.
No kidding.
Yeah, she was the camera switcher, working with the ATEM switcher and stuff on headset with the students.
Yep.
That was her. Switching the cameras for basketball, volleyball.
Well, we got this amateur directing it today, so I hope nobody's trying to win any awards.
Seems pretty good to me. I think you got a budding guy there, Matt McConaughey. He wants to go to college for that. He's a Struther. Here comes the leader.
Look at this.
There he is.
Nice shot, Bobby. What a great shot, Bob. Just leave it there.
There they come up the hill. Pretty good pack too, huh?
There must be something in the water in North Allegheny.
There is. So you saw 7 runners in the varsity race. You saw at least 7 runners here. There's 8. There's 9. That's 16 runners so far on their team, in their program. That's how you build a program. Another Canfield runner, Stowe, Twinsburg, Stowe, Amherst. A lot of Stowe runners, more Canfield, Wadsworth, more Canfield, more Stowe, more River, more Amherst, a lot of Amherst, Ashland. Hampton, more Hampton. Hampton was up there. They won, didn't they? Hampton was number 1, and then Hoover 2. And Chardon there.
How cool is that shot right there, Bob? I mean, as a former cross-country coach, that has got to make you absolutely pleased as a peach.
It does. Oh, boy, brings back a lot of memories, a lot of excitement. Every Tuesday, every Saturday in the fall. Started training right after July 4th, all summer long, and the kids were just awesome to work with.
Is that generally the schedule, Bob, in a cross-country season?
You know what?
Days
Yeah. If you really want to try and you get them, you start after you got to give them a little break after school's out, and right after the 4th, you start. You condition and train, and then you practice, and then you really work hard to compete. You just can't start and practice to compete. You got to train first, condition first, then start to train. Then you got to go to work.
Cross-country sorry, Bob. Cross country is a sport that is basically taking every other sport's punishment and putting into its own sport. Correct?
It is. It is. It's grueling. A lot of pounding. We talked. It's also. We talk about what you have to eat. Also what you drink, what you eat, what you drink and eat before, and what you eat and drink after. So nutrition's a big part of it. What you have to take in before.
Much like the Office episode. I don't know if anybody's an Office fan, but when he eats the fettuccine Alfredo right before the race to carb up, probably not a great idea for a race like this, huh?
Yeah, you're right. Not good. Night before. After conditioning, chocolate milk is a great thing after. Some citrus, but it has to be no sooner than an hour before. Some citrus would be good. But after a training session, go have a banana and some chocolate milk. And the night before, you want to have maybe some pasta, but you don't want to load up before.
Quinn should start seeing the leader here soon.
Yeah, it's four-wheeler's coming over here in about 10 seconds.
On you, Quinn.
Here comes the lead vehicle.
North Allegheny still maintained that lead.
And
I want to get Bob Zanny to ride the four-wheeler around.
They don't trust me.
I tell you what, if you get a second, this young man right here,
Annie here in the lead. This gap is massive.
There's the number 2 runner right there.
Ziggy, I think we lost you. Go ahead.
If you could come to me real quick and catch these guys right here cheering their teammates on with these flags. This is what we're talking about right here. You got one running down the hill with a flag trying to pump his teammates up. Another one right here. This is awesome.
See, that's that camaraderie. That's the senior guys, and that might be pass runners, and that might be, upperclassmen or whoever, continuing to try.
Quinn, get the YSN flag and start running around.
If I'm going to be running, I'm taking the truck, and we're going on the road because I am not about to run.
Or as my wife says, there's something chasing her, and it's time for everybody to go.
Well, medically, I'm not allowed to run anymore.
If there's a dog running around here or like the thing from Ghostbusters, I'll run.
Once I had my knee replacement, the dog said, "Nope, you're done."
I've literally seen more school spirit here in a half hour through 3 races. We've been here maybe an hour than I've
Now
seen at some other sporting events this year.
Your leader should be coming in about the next minute and a half, maybe less. Curious to see what his time is going to be.
Time stands right now at 15:46.
So now you have a JV runner who might break 17.
Is this an eye-opening experience, Bob? If he comes in at 17 minutes and the winner was at 16 and a half or whatever it was, is that a situation where a coach looks at it and says, hey, we could have another top runner?
I got a runner of the future. Depends on what grade he's in too. Now here you go. See this? There you go. There's this runner. There's the chase vehicle. And you know what? This runner is not going to quit. That runner right there is not going to quit. So is he coming up?
Let me take a look. We'll go to the finish line cam as soon as I see that vehicle come around the corner. People are starting to situate over. Here it comes.
North Allegheny, Shaker Heights, Brunswick, Wadsworth, and Strongsville.
See if he's got a kick. He knows he's way out in the lead. He's probably trying to get a PR if he can. His arms are a little wild. He's tired. There's a kick. He's in the lane. What'd he get?
17:33.
Okay.
And here come the other runners, man. Holy cow. They came around that corner and they are humming, baby.
Flying.
Whew. Oh, we might get a little. Nope. He got just enough lead on it.
Curious to see what grade that finisher, that top finisher was.
Yeah.
If he might be a freshman or sophomore.
This is incredible. I mean, literally, these guys are pumping each other up, just hanging on to each other at the finish line.
Yep.
And they are escorted. And it might seem a little callous to have them escorted off, but it's a safety issue. You can't just stack up at the finish line because
Correct.
people get hurt.
Right.
That's the eye opener from last year to this year. Is now I understand why.
And so that's where, like, you would think, okay, he's got to get to 16:30. To
get to a varsity.
Right. And that's a lot.
That's a minute.
It was. That's a whole minute in cross country. That is. And that's like from here to the moon. But you can do it. That's where like I've seen runners as a freshman at 18 even or 17:30, and they've made it and they've been able to do it.
I mean, these guys are toast, Bob. They're coming across the line and they are just they get to that final cone and they just drop.
Right. Well, my son did it. He was at 18 as a freshman. And
I can maybe get like an hour and 25 minutes.
But you finish.
Oh,
Right?
I'll finish. I might finish in the truck, but I'll finish.
But you finish.
It's interesting from my vantage point too is how the littlest of grade or little hill the second time around, the second lap, affects these runners at that point than it didn't the first time around too.
Yeah. Then they start hitting the wall.
Yeah.
This is wild. Schools from all over Ohio, Pennsylvania. We've talked about North Allegheny a few times here today. Is they have a prestige in running. Stowe right in front of us. Saw the Bulldogs take on Austintown Fitch last night.
Oh boy, bet you that was a heck of a game.
Fitch had a whale of a game. I like the guys that jump up and hit the finish line. I think if I'm going to do this, that's what I'm doing. I'm jumping up and hitting that banner. If you have any legs left, I guess. I think at the end of today, I'm just going to start at the finish part. Like when you turn that corner, I'm going to run to the finish line.
Well,
Just see if I
here's
can
the
do that.
results. You want the results for the Division I girls?
Go for it.
Okay, Northern Allegheny finished first, 78 points. Shaker Heights in second, 123. Then Brunswick, 139. Fourth place, Wadsworth, 150. Fifth place, Strongsville, 152. Rocky River in sixth, 208. Westlake, 222 points there in seventh. Brecksville in eighth, 230. Maslin, Perry, 284 ninth, and 10th. Salem, 287. Boardman finished in 12th, 369. Canfield came in 19th. They were 506 points. Austintown Fitch in 24th, 644. Individuals, so for Northern Allegheny, that was Ren Kukler, KUCLER, a junior, 1749.0. And guess what? In third place, Robin Kukler. They must be twins. She's also a junior, 1813.8. Her pace was 553 per mile. Ren's was 545 per mile.
Wow.
And then Camille Swersding came in at 1944.7. Oh, boy, I'll tell you. She came in third. Who came in second? Let's see if I can find who came in second. Second place was from Union Lake, Daniela Scheffler, also a junior, 1807. Her pace was 551 per mile. So some pretty good times there. Wow. That was pretty good. Third place winner, 1749. Second place finisher was at 1807. Third place finisher, 1813. Your fourth place finisher was at 1845. And your fifth place, that was Mary Pism. She's a senior from Brecksville.
Just a
And your
reminder,
fifth
if you
place
are in the
finisher
top 50
was Allie
in
Carey, a
the
senior
race,
from Strongsville,
boys or
1903.
girls, if you're in the
So it
top
really
50,
opened up
head
there
over to
between
the
the
white
1,
second
2, and
floor
3 to
front
fourth and
desk.
fifth place
They
finish.
have an individual award for you. Again, if you're in the top 50 individually, head over to the white stand to pick up your award. If we could have a representative
And it
of
looks like we're going to have the Division I girls
again, Strongsville.
JV race getting ready to start here pretty soon. The individual winner for the boys Division I was Dale Hall, a senior out of Hampton at 1536. Number 2 finisher from North Allegheny, Jack Bertram, a junior at 1537. Third place winner from New Philadelphia, Marcus Adelman, a sophomore only at 1545. Your fourth place winner, Ty Perez, a senior from Steele at 1548. And your fifth place winner, finisher, let's see if I could get him here, was Connor Reed, a senior from Maslin Perry, 1549. Your top 5 finishers all under 16 minutes. I think you're going to definitely might see them at state this year.
Bob, so are there any rules, right? I mean, can you be penalized at all for anything?
Oh yeah, you can be disqualified.
For what? Like
You
what
can
would
come off the
constitute
course.
that?
Well, I was going to ask the question too. You see these officials staged at certain areas. There's one that stands here near me. What's their
You can come
role
off the course.
in all that?
You could interfere with another runner. You could lose your chip. You know that your radio chip. That marks your time because they all wear a radio chip now, I believe. That marks you going across the finish line. There's certain rules, I think, about what you can wear and what you can't wear about, jewelry, things like that. You could be disqualified. I'd have to go back. It's been quite a while, but leaving the course definitely would disqualify you. So, okay, they've got their final instructions there from the official.
So you're saying we can't take an Uber to the finish line?
You
Get away
definitely
with it.
cannot. As much as you would like, you definitely cannot.
Bob, describe the weather today as well. You know, it was 50 in the 50s this morning as we approach start times, probably around 60, 62 degrees now. Is that good running conditions for these kids? A little cooler than what they'd like?
No, perfect this morning. It's probably starting to heat up a little bit. They probably don't like that. This morning was probably perfect. Yeah, you don't want it hot. Yeah, it's probably starting to get a little too warm.
Does it affect them early this morning, though? We haven't seen cold weather like that yet this
No,
season, and for them to
no,
come out and compete right away.
no. They probably liked that. Might have been a little slick, so they, I don't know. Their spikes probably didn't change because their cross country spikes are different from traditional track spikes.
Sure.
You don't want them to be too long and gather a lot of grass, but they are super light, like almost featherweight, like featherweight, super light. But they do have, there's no mud, didn't rain. I've seen them have to run in mud. That affects the your times and conditions. And it was a
Yeah, that
little
was going
wet.
to be my next question. So, condi- conditions of the running surface. You know, I did a game last night to where I was down in Belmont County. It's the first time Beaver Local had played on grass in 3 years,
Uh
and
huh.
it affects a team differently. You know, the dew on the grass and everything. And does
Oh
it
yeah,
always have the same effect for runners no matter where they go, course to course, school to school?
absolutely, absolutely, it does. Right. It's always natural, grass, of course. And then sometimes you have to go over dirt. Sometimes you have to go over a little short pieces of pavement to get to another, piece or a bridge. I've had, seen him go over that and everything. But for the most part, you just want dry conditions and you want it cool weather, you know. I've seen them have to run in cold weather and they've had to run in rain. So the only time they don't run is if there's lightning and thunder. It's the only time they don't run. Just like, most other sports.
Right.
Yeah. So the temperature this morning was probably perfect for him. Great. Yeah, they are all set up. Girls Division One JV. And again, thanks for having me here today. I'm by no means an expert, just some experience. The college
Compared,
coaches are experts, boy. They are like these college coaches are just unbelievable at coaching cross country. They're amazing. And some of these high school coaches that have been doing it for some of them have been doing it for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years.
so let me ask you. Let me ask you that. Let me piggyback off that, Bob. How hard is it to find people to coach this sport? Is that why some people are in it longer? Because it's just to find a good person, you got to hold on to them if you can.
Yeah, I don't know about, yeah, probably, but I don't know about holding on to them. They do it because the love of the sport.
And when I mean holding on to them, you just they kind of want to step away, and then you just kind of like sweet talk them a little bit, I guess, just to
You have
stay
to.
with it.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to. They're so good. But eventually,
Right.
everybody has to retire. Eventually, you know. Um, but I mean, when you see programs, what they try to do, what those coaches try to do, is find the next one that they want to replace them. That's what they want.
And it's not a glorious sport. So these
Oh,
guys and gals that are coaching these kids, you know they're in it for the right reason.
yes, yes, absolutely. So there we go. Guns up. There it is. Guns off. And here is the Division One JV girls races away. You're going to see some familiar stuff, right? Let's see where this spearhead goes here. Again, right for the center. The coaches probably kind of told them where they want to go. If you're in one of those middle boxes, you're fortunate. Looks like we got a couple spearheads trying. They're looking like they're kind of competing to get ahead here. And there's the leader right there. There she goes. Pretty tight pack there. Got a lot of Boardman runners too here. You can hear all that cheering going on.
For the first time, we have a leader coming around the corner not wearing a black top that says North Allegheny.
No Northern Allegheny leader, huh?
Uh-uh.
Who is that? Got an N, I believe.
Yes.
Just an update from the finish line, gentlemen. Somebody has fired up the grill, and it smells like steak and cheeseburger, and that would indeed get me to run a little bit faster towards that finish line.
Okay, we're going to mute your mic now, DJ. Well, the boys Division I JV race, guess who finished first?
I'm going to go North Allegheny.
Any other guesses?
We don't need them.
Okay, Northern Allegheny finished first. 26 points. Second, St. Ignatius at 57. Rocky River in third, 162. Boardman fourth, 170. They got some runners will be coming up in the ranks soon. Westlake fifth at 177. Let's see. Canfield 17th, 452. Your number one finisher was Anant Palv, a junior, and he was at 1732. That was from North Allegheny. Number two finisher, again from Northern Allegheny, Sebastian Kinchak, a junior, 1750. Number three winner from Boardman, Dominic Theodore. He's only a sophomore, 1752. Number four winner, Caden Sowa, only a freshman, 17. Or the Boardman one was at 1752.4, and Sowa, the sophomore from Northern Allegheny, 1752.9. That's the one that you called over there, DJ, where they were battling right to the end.
And as we spoke too soon, North Allegheny passes here in first.
No, they are now in the lead again. I'm going to see them try and get that shot again when they come around the corner. Sixth place, Gary Lohman, a junior from North Allegheny, 1753.7. And the seventh place winner, William Nicholas, a junior, 1756.7. And he was from St. Ignatius. Number 8, Brandon McGraw, a junior, 1758.4, also from St. Ignatius. Number 9, finisher Malik Hogan, a sophomore, 1758.5, Euclid. And number 10, Corbin Klein, a sophomore, 1802.9 from Brunswick. So some futures of the some runners of the future coming up there in those teams. So there's the leader Going to be coming around that first bend, huh?
Yeah, North Allegheny was holding down first and third when they went past my spot.
You can see the chase vehicle a little bit. Tough battle in that sun here. And you could just see that runner through the spectators. He's got a pretty good pace coming down that hill.
Here they come down the hill at the 4K marker.
Definitely a lot more spectators out here on now.
There's a number 3. And then a pack right behind them. There you go. Trying to get a nice shot for our viewers so they're not blinded by the sun there on this beautiful day. Just awesome. In the 60s right now. Well, I want to thank all the technical support that got us all set up today. Quinn Pluskar. Who else set us up today? Breakfast was delivered. Can't ask for anything better than that, right?
The Riccatellis contributing to breakfast, so thank you for that.
Absolutely.
And I don't know where that delicious smell is coming from, boys, but I know that we're going to be eating it later.
Well, I don't know if it's good or bad that I'm not over there. I think it's good I'm not over there.
I know it's made of cow. I don't know what it is, but I know I can smell it.
I know that the junior high races are going to be after this. There's a lot of Northern Allegheny junior high kids that are starting to warm up.
Yeah, we will have a break for that due to Child Online Protection Act. There was no way we could get every single runner to sign a contract or to sign a waiver. So we'll take a break and we'll be back after. Is it after this race or there's a girls' race after this? Correct.
There is. This is the. This is the girls' junior high race right now.
Okay. This is the junior high race.
This is the girls' Division I junior high race.
Junior varsity.
Or junior varsity. Excuse me. Correct. Yep. Thank you. Trying to bring up the schedule.
And I think it goes to the junior high after this.
I think you're right.
So we'll take a break after this race, and we'll be back with another broadcast. So you'll have to come back to whatever stream after this. I know, Sigler, you got to leave, and we appreciate you being here this morning for us and helping out. You brought, as always, you bring so much to the broadcast and ask some great questions. So thank you very much.
So now the leader.
It was awesome to be here.
It's going to be coming up this hill again here pretty soon.
I think that runner with the "and" bob is from Nordonia.
I think you might be right.
Sandwiched in between those two runners from North Allegheny.
Bob, when you see that runner, let me know, and I'll give you full screen access.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Race standing at 10:32 as we look for it. Bob, any predictions on where they'll finish this one?
There's the lead runner. I think you're going to see this lead runner could possibly break 19. She might be in the high 19s. And there she is. Now, this is Northern Allegheny, has taken the lead. Right behind her, Nordonia, probably about 30 seconds behind. And then in third place, you guessed it, another Northern Allegheny. And right behind her is 3 more Northern Allegheny. So Northern Allegheny is in first, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh place in this race right now. And that is a heck of a team. And 12th place. And 15th place. Boy, they got a heck of a program going there, I would say. Canfield has a runner in the top 25. And then the Bees. I got to see who they're from. And now here comes the majority of the pack. I would say Northern Allegheny has a good shot of winning it as a team here in this JV race.
I'm going to agree with that. They're holding down first, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. So
yes,
odds. Good shot.
I don't see any other team being able to get up there. I've seen some close packs of teams. I mean, just look at the amount of runners in the JV race.
It's amazing.
How many runners these programs have, that are not in the top 7 runners. It's amazing. And we haven't even gotten to the open races.
The leader's approaching my vantage point, and she's opening up the lead now, really distancing herself from the Nordonia runner. The parent is providing good competition running alongside.
The support that they get from, fellow runners, teammates, parents, friends, coaches, and even just, other people in the running community is unbelievable.
I said this earlier. I don't know if anybody heard me. I've seen more support here today than I've seen at other sporting events. There's no doubt about it.
It's a close-knit community, It's
the Nordonia runner pass as well as the North Allegheny, and here comes the herd of North Allegheny teammates.
You see this Ashland group coming. I mean, they're helping each other out is what they're doing. So one pushes ahead and the other tries to stay with them.
The group of Wadsworth teammates cheering on their teammate who just ran by.
Yeah, lead vehicle has just made that last turn. Now east to west along the parking lot there. And that Ashland runner has really, really opened up a big lead. And you can see there is the lead runner right there.
We got a comment here, gentlemen, from Matt McGivern. It says cross country is by far the most encouraging, positive sport. All the parents support all the kids. Kids help each other on their own team and others. Glad my son participated in it for 6 years.
And there's the number 2 runner, Nordonia, I believe you said.
Yes.
And then I believe the number 3 runner right there. And then 4. And then here comes another little pack. And
Tell
here
me if you
comes
recognize the words on the front of their tops, Bob.
So just as an update to everybody, including ourselves, we have the D1 Open run next, and then the middle school will commence. So we'll be on here for 2 more races, and then we'll take that break.
Right. Awesome.
I gotta admit, gentlemen, this 4-camera project is pretty awesome. We had 5 cameras for a little bit, and I think we lost the Boardman Stadium cam. But to be able to see and pick up these runners from 3 different cameras, and then see them at the finish line, I gotta admit, it's pretty cool.
I think it's amazing.
And again, hats off. I want to give a tip of the cap to Quinn Pushkar, who has really outdone himself this time.
Yeah, he did a great job this morning. That's
I
for
think
sure.
that's great.
What it allows us to do is provide light to these student athletes that doesn't normally get the light shined on them as well. So what an opportunity for these kids and us as well.
You should be seeing the leader come through here pretty soon. Curious to see if she'll be able to break that 19-minute mark.
Yeah, they're setting up at the no, we're sitting at 19:53 right now, Bob.
Okay. All right. So won't be able to break the 20-minute mark. So I was a little way off on that one.
If you look in the bottom right-hand corner at the finish line, Cam, you should be seeing them come around the corner, which will be a really cool. There we go right now.
Yep, there's the lead vehicle.
Here we go. We'll take it full screen.
Yeah, still got pretty good form.
And like a broken record, Bob, who is that coming down the hill in first?
Northern Allegheny. That's good. She's using the hill to her advantage. So she broke 21.
Yep. Well, it looked like it was either 21 even, or I don't know if they're going to give her 21:01.
Pretty close.
Pretty doggone fast still.
Yeah, I'd like to see what grade she's in there.
Here comes second place. She's certainly going to be under the 22 mark. It's going to be 21:33. And right behind her, 21:36. It's in third place. And then here come fourth and fifth. And now we watch.
I told a handful of people what I was doing today. And they all looked at me like I had 6 heads. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell them every year I'm doing this after seeing this right now.
The fans that come out aren't used to having this really televised until it gets to the state meet. And the state meet really is the only one that you could really watch after, I think, the fact. You could go on the OHSAA site. I don't think you could watch it live as it happens, but you could go on after and watch the video. And I think they have maybe just a couple different views. I know they definitely have a finish line view of it, but I don't think you can watch it live as it happens.
And this girl coming in right now, I don't know if you could see her on the left side. She just passed about, I want to say 8 different racers on the way in. So she left a lot in the tank at the end.
Yeah, see, now that's something the coach will talk to her about. She might have left a little too much, you know. So, but that's what you do. You train, you learn, you know, and you just get better.
And that's one of the things we talked about, Bob, to some of these cross-country coaches, especially the Boardman cross-country coaches, is, you know, in this sport, there's no tape. There's no film you can go back to. You can't watch yourself on huddle and see what you did wrong. You're just learning from the times and you know, from basically from your coach saying, hey, I saw this.
That's right. They'll go out and, you know, one day we'll go out and we'll do hill work. Okay. We're just going to do uphills on this day, and it could be grueling. And then the next day, guess what? We're going to do 800s, and that's all they're going to do. And we want 800s, and you see what you could do. So you do an 800 and you recover for 60 seconds, and then you do an 800 and you recover for 60 seconds, and then you do an 800, and you have to feel what an 800 feels like. So you step it off, and you know that on this course, this is what the last 800 is like. This is where 800 is. So you know that's what you got to do at this 800, you know, and then you'll do 400s. You know, 400, you call them 400 repeats. Then you do 800 repeats. And then you'll do mile repeats. So you got to know what a mile is like, and you want to work on mile negative splits. So, and you got to do that for all summer long. And the ones that want to be good will do it, and they'll work their butts off, and they'll be good at it. They
Bob,
just
how do
think you go out,
go
you
ahead?
know, for a 5K, you just go out and run. You know, yeah, it's not really like that.
How,
Sorry,
how do
go ahead.
coaches encourage participation in a sport like this? How do you approach a kid and say, "Hey, have you ever thought about running cross country?" You know, it's I haven't polled many people, but the people I know, like DJ's talked about, running isn't exactly the funnest thing to do in the world, and like we said, the not most glorious thing to do in the world. So, how does a coach approach a group of youngsters to try to get interested in cross country?
Not just one way. There's a lot of different ways. Some coaches do a meet and walk. You know, you meet them after school and you kind of walk around the school and explain it to them. A little meet and greet. Some of them have your varsity or just your people in the program bring friends along, and you talk about it, and you say, "Hey, just give it a try. Let's go out." And it's just little small baby steps, but it's kind of like at the young kids where you got to start, you know, and hopefully that's where you could get them, you know, to start. And you try to get young runners groups involved, but you can also get those seventh and eighth graders involved. You can get freshmen involved. You can get sophomores involved, juniors. I've seen them get involved, you know, and it's the ones that really aren't doing anything, you know, the ones that aren't playing football or tennis, you know, or soccer, you know, or those type of things, volleyball, uh, and just have them come out and say, hey, you know, just try it. There's a lot of different ways, and you just got to start small, very small. You know, let's go out and let's just have a little run. You can't have them, you know, do like really hard training right at the beginning. You'll just scare them away. But if they got friends that are doing it, they could bring somebody along. You know, that's nice. And if you got a program that's very successful, like looks like Northern Allegheny is very successful, the young kids see that and they want to come along. Salem has a history of that and a legacy of that. Boardman has a legacy of that. Canfield has a legacy of that. You know, of doing that. Um, McDonald has a legacy of some cross country, you know, runners, and the young people, they want to get involved. It's like Cortland, you know, champion in softball,
Right.
right? It's like you know, some of these football programs. Ursuline, you know, Mooney with football, right? Um, it's like Jefferson in volleyball, you know.
Yeah, you know, your football, they start around 8, 9 years old.
Right.
Is cross country one of the things, usually about fifth or sixth grade, they start.
Yeah,
start
about fifth or sixth.
yeah,
Correct. Right. And no younger than that. You can't have them do their running younger than that because I think you'll hurt them. They're not developed enough.
gotcha.
Yeah, you can't do that. Once they start to develop a little bit, then you could have them do a mile. That's about it. They do little mile runs, fun runs. Just have them do little fun runs. You know. Then when they get into seventh and eighth grade, then they could do a 2 minute run.
I'm going to speak for myself, Bob. I've never heard anybody put those two words together in the same sentence.
It could be. I've done it. I've done fun runs. You ever done ever did the Panerathon?
Negative.
That's a fun thing. You know, that's a fun run. So, well, it looks like the boys Division 1 Open race are getting their instructions now from the official. So they're
What's the
all
difference between the open, Bob? What does the open consist of?
gathered.
What does the open consist of?
Anybody that wants to run, it could be an individual from a a school. It could be a school that doesn't have enough for a team. There's been times where schools have only had 3 or 4 runners, so they can't compete in the team race.
Okay.
Okay, you have to have at least 5 to compete in the team races. Okay, now once you get into your regular season, you're still going to compete as a school. You can't compete as a team, but your individuals will compete to get placement, and they will still compete in district. Beginning, maybe they can qualify for regional as an individual. But here at this invitational, you have to have a team of at least 5 to compete in a team race. If you don't, then you compete in the open race. So it could be 4 or less. Could be one person. You know.
Do you
Um,
see many of these exist at
oh,
meets, opens?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. hmm Absolutely. It might even be a running club. Maybe I don't know. I know my son when he was in college had to run in some open ones because he was rehabbing. Had an injury, so he had to be redshirted at one point. So he ran in some open races. Um, but it could be for various reasons that they're in an open race. You know, just various reasons. It could be they have too many kids. You know, and they just have too many. More than 14 to run in the varsity and the JV, and now they have to run in the open. They might have 25 kids in their program.
So we wouldn't be shocked if we saw 10 more kids from North Allegheny running in the open.
You're probably going to see North Allegheny again. All right. Well, they got their block assignments. The official's up on his ladder because you can only run 7. Yeah, you can only run 7.
Can you run all of these if you want, Bob? Like, if you just, you love
No,
just running, I
no,
guess. No.
no. You can't run a varsity and then a junior varsity.
But can you
And
run a
then an
varsity
open.
and an open?
No.
Okay.
There it is. Guns off, and we are underway. Boys Division I open race. You're going to see it again. These guys are going to run their hearts out as well.
Siggy, a little later, we're going to see one of the country's best runners from United. I know you got some insight on that.
Yes, that's right. He made national news.
He's here.
Look at
That's what you're
this.
saying. Are you talking about Mr. Nastari?
Look who's in the lead. Look who's in the
Well,
lead.
I see that, and an official heard me right next to my truck here.
Northern Allegheny.
And he said there's probably about 90 kids here.
Northern Allegheny was in the lead. Imagine that. They have to have an amazing program there. They must have.
When you're raised on the hills of Yinzerville, this is like flat surface for them.
They call us Flatlanders over here for a reason, and these kids are taking full advantage of it. I love when they come around that corner by those, but that's just,
Isn't that great?
yes, just.
So who's here at a cross country meet for the first time?
That's myself. That's for sure.
This is number 2 for me.
Okay. Are you hooked?
Say that again.
Are you hooked?
I love this event. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like Sticky said, I thought I was crazy. Everybody thought we were crazy for doing this last year, and I I circle this event on the calendar every single year, and forevermore we will always do the Spartan Invitational.
All right. I'll tell you, when my son graduated from high school, we went and watched him run in college for a couple years, and then there were injuries and stuff, and then he didn't run anymore. But yet, my wife and I still went to high school meets, even when I stopped coaching cross country. We still went and watched. Um, she's my daughter. She played softball since she was like 8, and then played, high school, played 4 years in college. When she graduated, played her last college game, we were the ones that cried. And then when she stopped, we still went and watched softball games. We just couldn't stop. We still go watch softball games. But you just go
Yeah, I'm
because you
starting
like
to
to watch.
understand as a parent, it hits you a little bit different, right?
Yeah, it does.
It's not the same. Like, I'm sure if you're an athlete or a runner in this, you probably want to take a few years off, and then but parents, I mean, you're used to this. You're waking up, you got your coffee, you got your routines. Yeah, I mean, you smell the fresh cut grass, you do all that, and all of a sudden, it's taken away from you. Um,
Right.
Good on you guys, though, Bob. That's amazing, and you've been. I'll tell you what, on behalf of all of us at YSN, not only are we grateful that you're our teammate for the last 3 or 4 years, but I'll tell you what, you taking a huge role into, kind of going outside your comfort zone, man. You have been a godsend this morning for this.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Football's a little bit of a challenge for me. I have to say that. Okay. So I'm not a football guy. So I hope we're okay there. But I am out of my comfort zone there. Well, here comes the lead runner, Northern Allegheny again.
Northern Allegheny and Solon out in front as they pass my vantage point. Probably about 14 runners. 5 of them were from Solon, and the other 9 were from Pennsylvania.
And there's Northern Allegheny. And you're going to see the rest of them coming down here pretty quick.
I got a little taste the other night. I was in Columbiana for Columbiana Wellsville volleyball, and there was a cross country meet going on at the same time. And the amount of buses and vehicles that were there at that meet was eye-opening for myself as well.
And now we're getting requests from. Let's pull this up here. Lisa Donaldson says we would love to have you guys come out to the Legends meet October 7th at the Trumbull County Fairgrounds.
That's an awesome meet there, by the way, because that's kind of like a precursor to the districts. They still doing the districts out there, Trumbull County Fairgrounds?
I couldn't tell you, Bob. You're the leader of the cross country division officially. Congratulations.
We'd have to check that's where the districts used to be, and then regionals were here at Boardman, and everybody would go to the either the Sim Erich meet out there or the Legends, and really kind of get a good feel for the Trumbull County Fairgrounds. And they'd run through the barn out there, and then finish up there in front of the stands there at the horse race, the racetrack. But we'll have to see. Here's some the girls JV results. In first place again, Northern Allegheny, 22 points. Hoover in second place with 102. What a big spread. Brecksville in third, 132. Strongsville fourth, 134 points. Fifth, Brunswick, 148th. Westlake in sixth, they were 151. That was close. And then seventh place, Mount Lebanon, 165. Wadsworth in eighth, 186. Nordonia in ninth, 244. 10th, Union Lake, 329. Canfield came in 12th at 374. Boardman came in 17th, 489. So your first place finisher, of course, Northern Allegheny, Eleanor Handel, 21 even. So that was even at 21 there, DJ. Second place finisher, that was from Nordonia, Emerson Perry, a sophomore, 21-32. Your first place finisher was a sophomore, also Eleanor Handel. And your third place finisher, again, from North Allegheny, Gabrielle Pizzone, a sophomore, or excuse me, a freshman, 21-35. Fourth place, Clara Storby, a sophomore, also from North Allegheny, at 21-39.5. Your fifth place finisher was Amelia Deneen from Mount Lebanon, 21-44.5. Your sixth place finisher was Nicole Ruby, a junior from North Allegheny, at 21-59.5. And your seventh place finisher was Olivia Gottschling, a senior from Brunswick, 22 even 0.7. Those are your top 7 finishers. And I apologize, folks. Here is your leader coming up right here from, you guessed it, North Allegheny. There you go, DJ. There's your leader from North Allegheny. He is number 535. And he is going really hard. Boy, he is. And it looks like a North Allegheny is in number 2. But, boy, we got a great race going for numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. North Allegheny is in 2, 4, 5, and 6 right now, with Solon in third place, trying to hold off North Allegheny. Big fight there. North Allegheny is in second, fourth, fifth, sixth, and eighth. 12th and 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. They might reach 50 people on their cross-country program.
More than summer trotting out there on a Friday night, that's for sure.
I think they got more people on their cross-country program than Jackson Milton has on their football team. They might have as many on their cross-country program as Jackson Milton on their football team now. Division I school, Jackson Milton Division 4, right?
Yep.
Jackson Milton Division 4 or 5?
4.
4, right? Yeah. So, big difference in enrollment, of course. And there's even more North Allegheny runners here. Boy, they're going to make some noise in Pennsylvania, aren't they? PIAA.
They should. It's always great to see participation. I don't care what size the school is.
Absolutely.
Participation numbers like you're seeing today. And I know schools of varying size. North Allegheny, Ignatius is here. They have quite a few runners in this race as well as they've gone
Hoover.
by. Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more from Northern Allegheny in a pack running together. Big numbers from Stowe. 2 more from North Allegheny running again over here. More from Amherst. More from Hoover.
The North Allegheny runners really opened a sizable lead coming by Spartan Stadium. getting ready to make the climb up this hill. He's all by himself.
Yep. And you know, some of these fans, they've got music playing here at this section coming up. This hill here on the corner view. They got music playing, spurring on their runners. TNT by AC/DC. How do you like that?
And what's funny is you'll find the same music in the locker room on a Friday night, pumping those kids up too. So it's just fantastic.
Now, if you see the corner view here again, another North Allegheny. Look at another group of Hoover runners, another Canfield runner.
They're holding down 3 of the top 4 for the top 5 spots right now.
That lead runner for North Allegheny is way ahead of the pack. Nobody is, I think, going to catch him.
He has at least a football field size lead right now.
He does. Now, I'd say at least a minute, at least, if not more. I'm sure definitely more. It looks like the girls Division I Open contestants starting to mill around and make their way down to the starting line.
It's amazing to see the kids just running in general here today, warming up, not even competing right now, and they're still running, just running.
There goes your leader. Your leader has almost lapped. Wow, that's an amazing. Amazing job there by your leader. Number 2 is also from North Allegheny. I think he's a good minute and a half behind.
Bob, I just did a little bit of a stopwatch thing on my phone to try to see the difference in first and second, and I got 26 seconds.
26 seconds?
26 seconds from the leader to second place.
To second place. Okay. See, that's how long I've been away.
Now, granted, that's just one little stretch in the grand scheme of a race, but 26 second difference.
See, I'm not used to getting splits anymore. I'm not used to getting spreads anymore.
We've said this once. We've said it a million times. I'm watching these kids cheer their teammates on. These 2 guys, if you can zoom in here, if we get a chance. These 2 young men right here in these they're just cheering anybody on they can. They don't care what jersey they're wearing or what top they're wearing.
Marker?
Yeah. These 2.
Oh, yeah.
If you see these guys right now, this is great.
That's the sport.
I love it. It's like they're wheeling them around third right there. See that? It's
you know, the number 2, number 3, they've made up ground on the leader before they're going into the woods. They've made up a little bit of ground on that leader there.
I see the younger kids warming up in the distance over here, getting ready for their junior high
Yep.
races to go on. Is it the same distance they run?
No,
that age?
no. Junior high runs 2 miles. It'll be a little altered course, a little short. It'll be shorter. They run 2 miles. So
Bob, this is 3-1, is it not?
it is
3.1?
5K. Yep, 3.1, and it is 5K. So convert to that 3.1 and a fraction, I think. But officially, it is 5K.
31's my favorite number, so I'm going to stay with 3-1 if nobody minds.
That's quite all right. You can.
Siegler, you ready to get out there and run this?
Hard pass.
I say you and I just try it, just to see how long it takes us to finish it.
No,
Oh,
I think I'll pass on that.
Glad you didn't throw me into that. I was going to tell you I haven't finished my 40 yet.
how
You
about
haven't finished your breakfast sandwich yet, Quinn. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're right. I got winded walking to the football field, so I am not running.
how about college runs 8K and 10K?
Wow.
How do you like that?
College is tough enough, man. I'm not adding that to it. Those are the guys and gals that don't get the freshman 15. I can promise you that.
Right.
Well, your leader should be coming pretty soon, huh?
Just came through, literally.
Yeah.
Hang on. Sorry I missed that.
Number 2 and 3. How's that battle going?
Oh, it's a dogfight down
Is
here.
it?
I'm gonna switch over to our full screen cam. I mean, they're just. I'll tell you
Flying
what,
through.
they're finishing way stronger than some of the varsity. But they're also 3 minutes heavier.
They are. They are.
Isn't that the amazing part? How far out in ahead that runner was. Still wasn't close to what finished earlier.
I think it's amazing. You see some of these golf carts and these people. I mean, I'm going to save us the agony of watching some of these finishers just fall flat on their face in the dirt, or I guess in the grass that's already been tarnished, and you can imagine with what. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to put it out there. If I finished a race and I fell into somebody's yak, I would be so mad.
Well, you would probably yak yourself.
I'm watching them, and I'm probably going to hurl. Man, look at these guys finish. Some of them are just blazing across the finish line. Look at some of these finishes. You can see a young man getting helped off right there. These volunteers doing an excellent job of caring for these runners.
You got that shot, DJ, them coming down the hill towards that finish line again?
I can get it. Yeah, hang on. Like, watch the. I mean, this is the kick, right, Bob? I mean, am I using the right terminology?
That's the kick right at the end.
I mean, it's incredible. Look at some of these. The pump in the legs.
So, looks like Northern Allegheny finished first, 27 points so far. They're in the lead with 27 points. So far, Solon is in second, 42 points, and St. Ignatius so far in third with 62. But your number one finisher was Micah D'Angelo, a junior at 1825. Second place finisher, Sadaf Pereira, a sophomore at 1846. And third place finisher, Andrew Morton, also from North Allegheny, a freshman at 1854. And then your next four were from Solon. Ari Zelwin, a sophomore at 19. Aiden Staninger, a freshman at 1901. Braylon Partee, a freshman at 1904. And then 7th place finisher Nick Haviland, a senior in 1905 from Solon. 8th place William Scott, a senior 1908 from St. Ignatius. 9th place finisher Jack Ross, a junior 1910.9 St. Ignatius. And then your 10th place finisher Nathan Irvine, a sophomore 1911.7 North Allegheny. North Allegheny finished first, second, third, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th, 19th, 22nd, 23rd, 25th, 27th, 31st, 32nd, 34th, 46th, 44th. Oh boy. They got some runners, don't they?
Understatement.
Yeah, I think you're underselling that one a little bit there, Robert.
Yeah, a little bit, huh? So they don't have all the total team results yet because not all of them have finished. So not all of the team results have come in, but so far North Allegheny's in the lead.
A teammate encouraging a runner on here as he's bringing up the pack. Talking to a teammate, walking alongside of him, and she says, "You're talking. You're not concentrating on running. Go finish it." I love it. Bob, how different do you see the junior high kids tackle a race like this? Do they understand? Do they understand pace? Do some teeter out because they give too much too soon?
It depends on how long they've been running that I've seen. We've had some where they kind of started running in 5th and 6th grade, and we've had some where they've had siblings running,
Sure.
older siblings running, and they kind of know. But then we've had ones that have just started. And so we just kind of like, just go out there and let's just run and let's have some fun and then just learn race by race and let's learn practice by practice. And some of them go out and they'll run and walk and run and walk. And then as the season goes on, they'll run more and walk less. And then as the season goes on, maybe by the end, they run a whole race. And that's a big victory. And in 8th grade, if and then they start, running whole races, in 8th grade. So it just depends, and it depends on the individual as well.
Is
'Cause
it
you
just
can't
like other
force-
sports? You see the success if they have a sibling, the younger one usually succeeding quicker as well, as opposed to somebody else that didn't have that advantage of a sibling they're chasing in that in that sport?
Sometimes it does. Sometimes. Like our oldest daughter played 1 year in softball. Her biggest victory is she caught one fly ball in the outfield. Boy, did we go and celebrate that. Well, she never played another year of softball in her life. But my other daughter, boy, you couldn't get her off the softball field. You know what I mean? And she was the quietest kid. But put her inside those white lines and you better look out, And then our son, he was the youngest and he just liked doing it. So, But then we've had runners that had older ones or ones that didn't. It's just cross country. It's just got to come from inside of you sometimes, and sometimes you just have to have that right coach too, or the right teammates, or I don't know, the right mentorship, and you know, uh, get some enjoyment out of it, and just uh, the right teammates too. You know, put it all together, and the right program that's been there for a while. Um, I guess just put the right recipe together.
Yep.
You know.
Bob, how you doing over there? Is it as toasty over there as it is over here?
Yeah, it's starting to warm up a little bit. It's kind of nice. I
I
like
feel like
it.
I'm just roasting in the back of this pickup right now.
Yeah. Sun's at my back. I'm okay.
This time of year is crazy. You show up with some of us show up with pants and long sleeves on, and by noon you have shorts and a short sleeve
Yeah.
shirt on.
I did bring some shorts. I'll have to find a place to change if I can. You know, I'll do that for the second half of the day. But it is starting to warm up a little bit. Very nicely, in fact. But it's not super hot.
No, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So, yeah, Northern Allegheny did finish first, Solon in second, St. Ignatius in third. Pine Richland in fourth, 174. Stowe Falls, 203 in fifth. Hoover sixth with 229. Salem came in seventh, 231. Westlake in eighth, 265. North Olmsted in ninth with 306. And North Ridgeville 10th with 346. Canfield in 14th through 435 points. So congratulations, Micah D'Angelo, the junior, first place finisher from North Allegheny, 1825.0. And Gigi, I believe this is going to be the girls open Division One.
Yep, this will be the last one for us for this particular broadcast, and then we'll take a little break as they run the middle school, and then we will come back for the D3 and D2 to finish off the afternoon slash, I guess what 4:30 is the last race, so I don't think that's really evening quite yet.
So they had their instructions there. The officials on his ladder waiting to make sure that the finish line officials are ready to go with timing. There's your starting line. The starter has to make sure that everybody is reset at the starting line with the official timing. And he'll get a flag wave. This will be a quite a smaller group here for the Division One Open girls. All right, there's the flag wave. And the flag is up. And we're off. There's the start. And here comes the girls up the hill. And you should see a familiar picture of them trying to get a good position coming up. And you can see how they're going to make that wedge to the center.
And guess who?
North Allegheny, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and ninth. Great job, North Allegheny. And here they come up the hill.
Bob, is there a certain requirement for how many officials need to work a meet?
I'm sure they are.
Great
You know what?
question.
I don't know. I don't know that number, to be honest with you. I do not know.
Do the
Yes, there
officials
are.
in cross country get as much heat as officials in every other sport?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You better believe it.
What can you yell at an official for in cross country, Bob?
Wow. Making sure that the markers are in the right place, making sure that the directional markers are labeled right, because there's certain markers that indicate a right turn or a left turn or a straightaway. Making sure that the lines are marked well enough. The white lines that mark the inbounds of the course. Making sure that if you have like an obstacle, like it could be like a stone that's embedded in the ground, or roots. I've seen roots that have to be marked on courses. The coaches will actually walk the course with their runners and say, hey, you got to watch out for this. Here's this turn. You know what I mean? They'll say, because red is one turn. I think white is another turn. I think red is a left turn, white is a right turn, or yellow is a right turn. I can't remember. I used to know that off the top of my head. I think red is left and yellow is right. But those have to be marked. White is a straightaway, I think. Um, yeah, I think red is left, yellow is right. I think. Um,
I
but
think you're
yeah,
right. I see there's marks
right.
here where I'm at. 2
Uh-huh.
poles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. They're making a right turn past the yellow, and they're going to
Right.
make a left.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Past. Yep.
And so they've it's got to be just right, or else they could file a little bit of a complaint. The starting blocks all have to be correct and a certain size. And then
I'm going to
your
out of
block
this.
assignment, I think, is random. They pick your block assignments randomly.
There's the post we're talking about. Bob's talking about, painted yellow at the top. So they're going to turn right actually at that, and left at the red.
And you just want the course marked really well. For the runners.
North Allegheny out in front one more time. 2 runners from Nordonia.
And our two fans, they there again?
Oh, there's a whole slew of them here on the hill here. They're not as boisterous as the 2 that were here earlier, but I'll give these kids their due as well.
Hey, just a reminder for everybody who might be new to YSN, you can head over to ysnlive.com. We have all of the action and stories from last night's football on ysnlive.com. So if you'd like to check that out right now, time is right. Open up a couple browsers, watch this. And of course, we want to appreciate all the help that Boardman has been through this entire process. Coach Seipert, Coach Phillips, Donnie Riccatelli, everybody, before we have to break after this and then resume coverage in a couple hours.
So here's that turn. That right turn. Now they're going to be going east to west along the parking lot. There's the lead vehicle. And there's your lead runner and a little bit of a pack. And got a little bit of an opening there. We'll keep it on that. A little bit of opening from some fans so you could see the runners there.
First 5 all North Allegheny, Bob.
Yes.
Seven and 8, both North Allegheny and 9. Look like basically North Allegheny and Strongsville in the lead here, Bob.
Some pretty good programs too. One in Pennsylvania, one in Ohio. You know, you're going to see some really good programs in the Division 2 and 3 races as well. And what's good about the Spartan Invitational, rather than just in the suburban league and some of the other leagues that you're going to see where you race against other divisions, here you're racing against those same runners that you see that you're going to race against when you go into district and regional, which is really good, for these runners. You're going to come up against them. The leaders have now gone into what they call the woods. Little friendly chat with some of our OHSAA officials there. I'll tell you what, they do an awesome job, though. And especially all the sports that we do.
Yes, they do.
For the first time last night, I saw a kickoff not covered by the receiving team.
Okay, say that one again. How does that work?
Well, A kickoff is a live ball, right?
Correct.
So McDonald kicked off. Well, the receiving team, Jackson Milton, just let it hit, stayed in bounds, but they didn't cover it. They let it hit like it was a punt. Well, it's not a dead ball; it's a live ball. Jackson Milton or McDonald jumped on it, recovered the ball. I believe on the Jackson Milton 25. Luckily for Jackson Milton, they did not score on that possession. It was a mental mistake by the deep back, receiving.
I saw something last night that was interesting, and I didn't really put it together until this morning. I saw 14 points scored by a team, LeBray, last night, and they never received a kickoff.
Oh my!
And they scored in a minute and 5. So they got a scoop and score touchdown, and then kicked off, a fumble at the 4-yard line on the second play from scrimmage, and they recovered that and then punched it in. So it was 14-0 with I think 10. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was it was 10:55.
Here's your leader coming now. North Allegheny. There's your lead vehicle.
Nice shot, Bobby.
And there comes the rest of the pack. Northern Allegheny, top 6 spots here in the girls' Division I open race. They got the top 6 spots. Strongsville's got 7 and 8, and then North Allegheny in 9. The Devils 10 and 11. Not sure who that is. I'd have to check that out. Nordonian 12, North Allegheny 13. There's a couple more North Allegheny, 14 and 15. North Allegheny 16 and 17. Strongsville. Is it mandatory that you have to run cross country at North Allegheny? Is it a graduation requirement there, maybe? It must be. I don't think they let you attend high school there unless you run cross country.
Participation.
Boys, nice job today running. Very nice job. I had to give that was North Allegheny. Some of the teammates going by, I had to give them some kudos. They did a nice job today. But again, yeah, you're going to see some Division II and Division III teams, some really good runners there as well. And again, that United runner, I think you're going to see I bet you're going to see some coverage, not only by this premier YSN crew here. Now, you're probably going to see a news article as well, I would say, by the local newspaper, and as well as an article on YSN here.
Bob, any guesses on finishing times?
We're
at
him?
14:32 right now.
Oh, for this here?
For this, right? Yep.
Probably 22. See if they can finish in 22 something.
I think it's a fair guess.
Yeah, I would hope. the runner from United, hopefully we'd like to see him finish under 15 today.
Okay, so we got that guess, under 15. Do you think that the second place runner will be a minute, or I guess we're not going to do any official like gambling or anything, but just best guess, over under a minute after the winner.
I would say under a minute.
Under a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
The North Allegheny runners are running 1-2, almost side by side, right past myself.
That's great. I hope that they push each other. That's what they want to do. And that's how you get better. You want to push each other. Yeah, we still got some runners coming up here.
Interesting tidbit. I'm listening to the North Allegheny coach right here, encouraging his kids on, letting them know they just went past the highest elevation they have on the course. So everything else is flat and downhill from this point on.
Awesome. Now, this vantage point that I have here, which is the corner camera that you're looking at coming up here, used to be part of the finish line at one time when they had this invitational and other meets and regionals. They had to finish uphill. That was pretty grueling for the runners. Now I think it's pretty flat on there where they're finishing, right, DJ, down there?
Sorry, Bob. Say that one more time.
Is it kind of flat where they finish over there?
Yeah, I mean they're downhill,
Downhill?
and then they finish flat. There might be a little grade to it, but I mean they're coming downhill, so it's kind of giving them a little bit of momentum.
So now here comes your lead runners again. For the second time along the parking lot. And that's your leader.
It's just impressive to see so many schools represented. Just seeing the different names go by all in one place.
So this should be just at about the right time. My battery cell's at about 30% here.
We'll get you another battery pack there, Bob. Don't worry.
That'll be just about right. Worked out perfect. So if you noticed on the Division I boys open race, there were no team results. So it's all open. and it's just all individual results. In the open races, that'll be the girls as well.
They're just trying to establish a time at that point.
It's just an open race, and it's just all individuals. There's no team results whatsoever. Although you do see, multiple runners from a team in there, so you're not running as a team in the open race. Just all individual results. Just like that Micah D'Angelo from North Allegheny finished first for the boys in the open race at 18:25. There's no team results in the open race. It's just all individual. It'll be the same thing for the girls open race. You just have team results in the varsity and the JV races. Open races will just be individual.
You seeing them approach you yet there at the finish line?
And there's some finishers there.
(22-22).
Look at that.
So she finished in 22.
And here come the other finishers. We got second and third, probably about 3 seconds separating them.
Something about we know what we're talking about here sometimes, fellas. I called a play from the press box last night, and Bob's reporting out times, knowing when these kids are going to finish.
Just a shade under 23 for third place. I think my favorite part is still the pack, right? When the pack comes in and everybody, like, it's just a race.
You know what? My favorite part keeps changing as the day goes on.
Does it really? What did it start at, and where is it at now, Siggy?
Well, I like the pack at the beginning. When they came where I'm at, around the corner where those buses are sitting. And then it goes to the people cheering the kids on. And then it goes to the kid that doesn't quit at the end. It just changes as the day goes on. So I think it's just hard to focus in on one favorite part.
Here comes. This is a little bit more spread out, Bob. This is interesting.
It is. It is.
Because usually about this time, runners 10 through 50, you're going to see the packs, and it's just going to be bam, 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 bam.
Right,
And these guys are kind of singled out. They're stranded along a little bit. Look at this. Here, see if I can get it. Look at the run. I mean.
And you still got some runners coming along the parking lot here, east to west, and still haven't made their way down to Glenwood Avenue yet.
This is bananas. Some of these, this young lady coming across right now, she's going to come into your screen. Look how fast she's finishing. And Bob, you, as a cross-country coach, like, that's nice and all, but you don't like that. You think that's a little bit too much in the tank.
Too much left.
How should you be coming across the finish line?
Oh, yeah, nothing left. nothing left. So they're not giving enough in that first mile and the second mile, and then that third mile. So you can't give too much in the first mile, and you can't give too much in the second mile, but you have to give enough. But that's training, and that's experience, and they'll learn. They have to learn what it feels like, to do that. That's all.
So is that the difference maybe of a kid that's at the varsity level competing, then you have somebody competing in the open as well?
Exactly.
Can't crack
Right.
that up. They have to figure that part out.
Exactly. Exactly right.
Fans, just as a reminder, we will conclude this race. We'll take a break as the middle schoolers will run, and then we will come back with D3 and D2. And, we have some very talented runners, and a lot of the YSN schools in that D3 that you're going to see featured. And Siggy, I know you were talking about Nastari. I mean, that young man is special.
Special doesn't describe it.
No, I hope I'm not. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but you could see him in the Olympics one day.
Based on what I saw him do last year, that's correct. And I hate to burst your guys' bubble, but you're not going to see him here today.
Nope, he's not going to race today.
He's gone, my friends. He is at Penn State now.
He graduated?
He sure did.
Oh, sorry. I thought he was a senior this year.
He's at Penn State right now. He's not running cross country currently. He's just concentrating on track. And I wish he would have been here because that kid, I've never seen anybody run like him. So impressive to watch a kid be able to pace himself and still have the kick that you talk about at the end that separates for him from everybody. It was just impressive to watch.
So Maya Curry, trying to get these results up for you, not getting them too well. No, gonna have to wait. Not coming up yet. We'll have to wait on those results. Probably going to start the middle school race here pretty soon, which we won't be covering, but we still got finishers over there for the open race, I believe, still trying to finish. Yeah, it looks like we got some runners still going to enter the woods over there for you. Still running along Glenwood Avenue. Oh, why, thank you. They're delivering lunch to us? Just one. Okay. Well, thank you. So somebody just delivered lunch to me here.
Time to mute Bob. Time to mute Bob.
Okay. Boy, wasn't that nice? Okay. Well, that was amazing. With a smile, somebody from the Boardman Spartans organization.
Mackenzie Riccatelli,
Okay.
one of the greatest basketball players to ever live. And
Really?
she's going into her senior year, just committed to the College of Worcester.
Okay. I tried to take both sandwiches. She wouldn't let me. She only let me take one.
She knows what you're up to.
He deserves both today for what he's doing for us. That's for sure.
I tried to take both, and she goes, "Nope, just one." Well, that was very nice. Whoever arranged that was amazing.
That's
So,
Donnie Riccatelli all day.
thank you. Here's Mr. Pluscar. What a great guy he is.
It's
And
amazing how we can throw something like this together and just opens up so many more doors
it does.
for us to cover so many more athletes here at YSN. That's for sure. Here they come. Here they come already over here. Thanks, girls. Thank you.
All right, boys, another looks like we got one runner in the distance, and then we're going to shut her down. We're at the 31:30 mark here. I want to thank
Good
everybody.
effort.
We've got over 8,500 people, views on this race for the last, 2 hours and nope, that is 3 hours and 13 minutes. So thank you to everybody for tuning in today and this morning into the afternoon. We will have pick things up here in a little bit. Stay tuned to ysnlive.com. We will have the social media feed on Facebook, Twitter, as well as LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch. And, of course, on ysnlive.com. For Bob Zanny, Quinn Pushkar, for Chris Sigler, I'm DJ Yoakley saying thank you, congratulations, and well done this morning at the Boardman Spartan Invitational 2023. Back in just a little bit. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sport